Am I the asshole I told my mother-in-law that's all on her? My 5-year-old son's birthday is coming up and he wants a chocolate cake with chocolate icing. It's his birthday, so I said yes. My mother-in-law can be a selfish cow sometimes, and my son was telling her how's he getting chocolate cake and chocolate ice cream. My mother-in-law said she didn't like that and my so should get something we all like. My son said, it's not your birthday so you don't get a say. This would be normally disrespectful, but recently said this to my son when went to his friend's party. When my son didn't like the cake flavor and we had the discussion about how the birthday person gets to choose their cake flavor because it's their special day. My mother-in-law was shocked and I told her the same thing I told my son, when it's your birthday you can get whatever flavor of cake you want. My mother-in-law called me a bitch and my son a spoiled brat. So I told her, with that attitude you won't be coming to the party. My husband was what the fuck and tried to talk me into ordering his mom a cake she would enjoy after our son, and I was rude to her. I said no, it isn't her day, and that just teaches our son to act entitled at other people's parties if we don't stick to the rules and etiquette that we explain to him, and it will just make him confused, entitled, and spoiled. My husband saw the truth in that because our son was excited about his birthday cake for his birthday and now understands that not everything is about him. Other people get to enjoy their special event how they want to. In return, my son gets to enjoy his special event and occasions how he wants to. My mother-in-law doesn't seem to get that and wants my son to write her a sorry note and what he did wrong. My husband and I don't feel like my son did anything wrong by repeating what his parents told him. My mother-in-law said she's not coming to the birthday party or getting him a gift without the apology note. I told my mother-in-law that's all on her. Not the asshole. But why is your husband not sticking up for you and your son? He's equally guilty here for that. You're definitely not in the wrong here. Your son just repeated a valuable lesson you taught him about respecting others' special days, and your mother-in-law seems to have taken it personally. It's his birthday, not hers. If she can't respect that, it's really her loss for missing out. I think you handled it pretty well by sticking to your principles. Tell your mother-in-law your son will apologize after she writes you a sorry note for calling you a bitch and your son a brat. I predict that will happen exactly never. I think you're taking the exact right tone here. If she expects to make her grandson's events all about her, it's important that she understand how that is not going to work. I feel some sympathy for your husband's childhood. If she expects that calling names will get what she wants, she is less mature than your 5-year-old. Not the asshole. Keep up the good work. Not the asshole. Our child does not owe you an apology for stating the truth. His birthday is about him. What he said to you is just repeating something we recently said to him at another child's birthday. It was not rude, and it was not out of line. You can disagree all you want, but we're not going to force him to pretend to be sorry. This is his birthday, and he should get the cake he wants on his one day. If you are going to hold a grudge against a small child over your hurt feelings, skip his birthday, withhold gifts, and not be in his life, then that is your choice as an adult. And it is your relationship with your grandchildren that will suffer. My mother-in-law called me a bitch and my son a spoiled brat. Not the asshole for wanting to have a cake his way on his birthday? Wow, well we all know who is acting like a 5-year-old here, and it's not your son. Not the asshole. Your son was just repeating what he learned, that the birthday person gets to choose their cake, which is a reasonable rule. Mother-in-law is the one being unreasonable and making it about herself. It's not her day, and there's no need to cater to her preferences, especially at the expense of your child's happiness. If she's willing to skip his party over not getting her way, that's on her. You're teaching your son good boundaries and that it's okay to stand up for himself. Stick to your guns. Am I the asshole for not helping my girlfriend foster her siblings in bad foster care situations? 8 years ago, when I was 18, I had lost my mom and 2 of my 3 siblings in a car accident. My oldest sibling, then 14M, was not in the car. For a while, my brother was in foster care, albeit a good situation. I moved heaven and earth to get him with me as soon as possible. We received substantial life insurance proceeds and an even more substantial settlement. Accident was caused by a truck driver. We also sold my mom's home. With my half of the money, I bought a large home for my brother and I. The other half of the money is in a trust for my brother. A couple of years later, I got a casual hookup pregnant, GF. We ended up having identical twin boys. I was not interested in a romantic relationship, although excited to be a dad. She convinced me to try and make the relationship work, for the boys. I agreed to try. She was making little money and couldn't afford rent. So, I let her, with my brother's permission, move into the house. She decided she wanted to stop working and stay home with the boys. I was against it, but, after reading up on the benefits for kids, I agreed. Here's where I might be the Due to some bad circumstances, 3 years ago, 2 of my GF siblings ended up in foster care. The situation is quite bad from what I was told. My girlfriend understandably wants to adopt, foster them. But given the living situation, she has no income, no ownership in the home, etc., she cannot do it on her own. So, either I would need to do it or we get married so we can do it together. I absolutely refuse. Look, I am willing to let the kids live here if she somehow could get approved on her own, but I would not do what she is asking. This has been an ongoing fight and she has called me an AH. She says I moved heaven and earth to get my brother out of a good foster family, and her siblings are going through hell and I won't help. I said, I had a duty to my brother. While she has a duty to her siblings, I do not have a duty to them. Our mutuals are pretty divided and she knows my main account. So, I am here to get more perspectives. Am I the asshole? Sounds like she needs a job and another place to live. An 8-year-old doesn't need a stay-at-home mom, she's 3 years overdue for a job. How is she expecting to look after the children if she has no income? Is she expecting you to foot the bill? Not the asshole as it is your income, your house etc. However, if you really loved her, you did for her. Not the asshole nope, dindo that. Yes, you did it for your brother, because he is your brother. You don't love her, you already agreed to let her stop working even if you aren't comfortable. Don't make the stupid mistake of being even more trapped in Ms. Lavelle's relationship. Tell her if she wants her siblings she can get a job and move out. This one is tough. You agreed to let her stay home together to take care of your child, due to the benefits you saw, so of course she's not going to have a job because she's raising your kid. But at the same time you aren't married and do not owe them anything or have any responsibility with the children she wants to adopt. I'm going to say nah. Everyone's feelings are valid. No one has really done anything wrong. But I think you two need to have a conversation and talk to a couples counselor. Being together just for a kid when you two don't have any romantic feelings for each other may not be as healthy for your child as you think. Not the asshole. She needs to figure out on her own how to move heaven and earth if it's so important to her. Am I the asshole for telling my friend that her wedding plans are currently unrealistic? My 30F friend, 35F, recently got engaged and I'm absolutely thrilled for her. She has spoken previously before she was engaged that her and her partner want to elope in a different, more expensive country. I have always supported her in this and am a big believer in your wedding your rules. The problem arises when she got engaged and said she can't wait for elopement wedding. I took her aside and said that I may not be able to come due to finances. She responded that there will be plenty of time to save for the wedding, they plan to do it in 2026. And that the cost is, what you make of it? And that it can always be made into a holiday for the guests so they are not just flying 12-ish hours for the wedding. The country and city she plans to elope is not my favorite place in the world, somewhere I have little interest in visiting and so I wouldn't make a holiday out of it. If I was going to attend I'd attend only for the wedding and then return home. Fast forward 6 months and the planning has started and they have invited 40-ish people to come to the wedding, stating that they know other people who have eloped and have had 20 to 30 guests. I made a comment that I believe that is an unrealistic expectation as it is a lot of cost to ask people and that she should be prepared that all 40 people might not come, in fact it could be significantly less. She immediately got defensive, stating that she isn't being unreasonable and almost saying that then cost would be the same for guests at a home wedding. Which I totally disagree on but didn't want to make the situation worse. She is aware there will be some people who say no. I'm a very close friend to her and I think she is more hurt that I'm implying I might not be able to make it. From what I know so far the couple aren't planning to pay any expenses apart from maybe one meal after the wedding. Ever since my friend has been quiet and cold and I want to know if I maybe have said too much and should have just politely declined attending the wedding. I am still trying to see if I can make the cost work because I would love to go, but it is an awful lot of money for me. 2.5k being generous. Am I the asshole for telling my friend I think she's being unrealistic about her wedding? Edit to add clarification I have described it as an elopement as that is what my friend has always said it is, would be. I hadn't actually considered it as a destination wedding and hence why I have stated that it may be unrealistic to have all these people go. Also not from the US. Second edit there are a few comments asking about what was my point even bringing this up if the bride already knew people would say no. However, the expectation between the close friends, which includes me, has been that we will be there no matter what. The expectation is that we can all afford it and go. I've had other friends come to me and voice their worries about it, and that's why I said it. Not the asshole. Anytime anyone has a destination wedding, they have to be prepared that there will be people that will not be able to attend. I don't think you are wrong for telling her gently that people may not be able to attend and that she's being a bit unrealistic to think that everyone will. Also, if you can't make it due to finances, etc., just be sure to give her plenty of notice and she will have to accept that. I don't think it's unfair to assume that people would not be able to go. Technically, if she has an advance plan and is inviting guests, it's a wedding, not an elopement. So, she's having a destination wedding a 12-hour plane ride away. That means any attendees are going to be a very very close friend, and b, interested in traveling to this particular destination, and c, has the financial resources for this trip. She needs to resign herself to the fact that out of 40 people just a few are going to meet all 3 of those criteria. I hope she can get 5, maybe 10 people to go. Not the asshole, but from here on out, let her be wrong. Let others tell her they can't attend, and don't try to prep her for those refusals anymore. Politely decline and say you're sorry you will miss it, but you have personal financial goals for the next few years and don't have the budget to attend a destination wedding. Then stop justifying or discussing your RSVP. Info: did your friend ask you for advice on her wedding? Soft: you are the asshole. Not for not wanting to go. That totally your prerogative, but for framing it like it's her problem that you can't go. I wouldn't have mentioned anything either time you brought up how people may not attend because of their choices. It's fair to let her know that you might not be able to attend and then RSVP, no. But stop trying to judge her choices. It's not eloping, but it's also not your wedding. The only thing you have to do here is accept or reject the RSVP. You are the asshole for giving unsolicited advice. People typically don't react well when they haven't asked for your opinion and you give it anyway. She can have her unrealistic expectations and she'll get consequences from that, but who knows? Maybe she just knows some ballers with money who can make the trip, or his parents are helping out with expenses. Either way, how the wedding goes down and who else is invited is none of your business. If you are willing to spend the money and go, then do that. If not, then don't, and let the chips fall where they will. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend I hate the surprise party she arranged? Me, 30 male, and my girlfriend, 29 female, have been together for 2 years. I had a big birthday coming up, my 30th, and she decided to enlist the help of my 2 close friends and housemates to throw me a surprise birthday party at our house. Around 15 mutual friends and 10 of my friends were invited. Now, I have always maintained I hate surprises and that I want to know things in advance. I have mild social anxiety and hate having things kept from me. Also, it's not the way I enjoy things. I like to have things in my calendar to look forward to, think about it, plan it out, imagine the details. I'm the type of person to check the menu weeks before I go to a restaurant booking. My girlfriend loves surprises. She did not believe someone won't enjoy a nice surprise. When she teased the idea of surprising me, I was always unequivocal in communicating it's not something I want. Nonetheless, she went all out. Go-karting, dinner at a great restaurant, my house decorated to the max for the party. Cake, balloons, confetti. My anxiety was building steadily from the first activity to the last. I was strung from location to location. Everyone knew the plan, the next location, except for me. I hated every bit. I had an internal conflict because I know these are all objectively nice things, but I couldn't help that I was hating every second while having to pretend to all my friends I'm having the best time. I didn't want to be a killjoy and appear ungrateful. Throughout the day I kept imploring her to give me more details of the plans, but she didn't want to spoil the surprise. It all came to a head when I gauged that we're heading back to our place for the party. It sounds silly, but my room was untidy and the anxiety spike from knowing people will see it sent me over the edge. I said some unkind things to her, questioned if she even knew me and that I hated it all. I told her this in private. I didn't cause a scene in front of others. I tried to smooth things over after, as I recognized I reacted out of frustration, anger, but she was understandably upset. She thinks I'm ungrateful, rude, and diminished her efforts. I think I was driven to this by a set of events I was clear I didn't want. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your girlfriend didn't throw a party for you, she threw a party for herself. She completely ignored your wishes and then doubled down by not telling you more information even though you asked. It's very telling that she's now trying to play the victim. She sounds selfish and spoiled. Not the asshole bullshit like this from when I was a teenager is why I haven't celebrated a birthday since I was a teenager. My grandkids and the partners of my kids don't even know when my birthday is. When they ask, I tell them that Nana Satan sprang from the bowels of hell fully grown. Not the asshole. If you were a vegetarian and she slaved all day over a delicious prime rib roast for you, she would be the awe. If you had bad knees and she planned a really fun hiking trip for you, she would be the awe. If you told her that you didn't want a pet but she gifted you the cutest little puppy in the whole wide world, she would be the awe. Everyone else here said it more succinctly. She didn't respect your boundaries. I'm just hopping in to say that just because something is subjectively a nice thing to do, it isn't nice to ignore the personal feelings and needs of the recipient. Not the asshole. Pretty selfish of your girlfriend, ironically. She could have at least shared the details on the day. Little card with itinerary and proof your room had been tidied beforehand. What is this? A crossover episode? Not the asshole, you were far too polite. If these people know you at all, they'll know you don't like surprises, and they did it anyway, and your girlfriend should certainly know the day was clearly for her as something she wanted to do. You were a prop and an excuse. The second the surprise started, you should have just said, "Nope, I don't like surprises, I've been very clear about this," and walked away.